To begin our video review video for section 4.2, that's chapter 4, section 2. And as always, whenever we start a new section, we always start with the learning target. The learning target for today is to identify proportional and non-proportional relationships. Let's look at the definitions of those terms. If something is said to be proportional, a statement of equality of two ratios with a constant ratio. In other words, both of the ratios are equal to the same value, If it is non-proportional, a relationship in which two quantities do not have a constant ratio. In other words, they are not equal. Let's jump right into a problem with one of these. A house cleaning service charges $45 for the first hour and $30 for each hour in additional hours. The service works for 4 hours. Is the fee proportional to the number of hours worked? Well, let's jump in, and I'm actually going to set up a table to work with this. And I'm going to say, well, the first hour was $45 for the 1 hour of work. The next one, to do 2 hours of work, costs $75 for 2 hours of work. It would be $105 for 3 hours of work, and $135 for 4 hours of work. My job here is to see, is this ratio, which is 45 to 1, equal to this ratio and this ratio and this ratio. If they are equal, then it is proportional. If they're not equal, it's non-proportional. Well, 75 to 2 hours, if I reduce that fraction, I can do so by dividing both sides by 2. I get 37.50 per 1 hour. 37.50 per 1 hour. If I do the next one, 105 in 3 hours, I'm going to switch to my calculator here. 105 divided by 3 hours comes out to be $35 per hour. And if I do 135 in 4 hours, I get $33.75. $33.75, let me correct the way that's written. To 1 hour per hour of work. Well, if I look at each of these ratios, they're definitely not the same, so this is non-proportional. This is non-proportional. Here's a similar problem. A plumbing company charges $50 for the first hour, $40 for each additional hour. Suppose a service call is estimated to last 4 hours. Is the fee proportional to the number of hours worked? I'd like you to pause the video, do that work on your own, and then come back and check by comparing with mine. I'm going to set up a table. I'm going to say the first hour is $50 for 1 hour of work. The next one would be, going back, check my numbers here, would be $90 for 2 hours of work. And it would be $130 for 3 hours of work, or $170 for 4 hours of work. If those ratios are the same, it's proportional. If the ratios are not the same, it is not proportional. So I've got 50 to 1 here. I've got 45 to 1 on the second one. On the third one, it's 130 divided by 3. And that comes out to be 43 and 33 cents to 1 hour. Correct that here. That writing there is a little bit messy. To 1 hour. And 170 would be 42.50. 42.50 per 1 hour. Well, as we can see by looking at each of these, the ratios are not constant, the ratios are not the same, so this is non-proportional. It is non-proportional. All right, another problem to look at here. A recipe for jelly frosting calls for 1/3 of a cup of jelly and 1 egg white. Is the number of egg whites used proportional to the number of jelly, to the cups of jelly? I'm going to set up a little bit of a table here. I'm going to say 1/3 of a cup of jelly to 1 egg white. If I double the recipe, I'm going to use 2/3 of a cup of jelly to 2 egg whites. If I were to triple the original recipe, I would use 3/3 of a cup or 1 cup of jelly to 3 egg whites. If I continued on by adding one more multiplication or one more completion of the recipe, I would be 1 1/3 cups to 4 eggs. I need to look at this ratio and see if it's the same. In other words, is 1/3 to 1, is that equal to 2/3 to 2? And is that equal to 3/3 of a cup, or 1, to 3 eggs? And is that equal to 1 1 or 4/3 of a cup to 4 eggs? So I want to reduce each of these ratios and see if they are in fact equal. Well, 1/3 to 1 is 1 to 3. 2/3 to 2 is equal to 1/3. That fraction reduces to 1/3. This fraction reduces to 1 to 3, because this reduces to 1, so it'd be 1/3. So far, they are all equal. And 4/3 divided by 4 is also 1/3. So yes, this is proportional. Yes, it is proportional. Please do the next one on your own. Come back and check with the video when you're done. For the recipe on the last slide, write out the relationship of the amount of jelly to the number of egg whites as a ratio in simplest form, and we've already done that. It is 1 to 3. 1 to 3 ratio in simplest forms. That completes our video. Thank you.